Hello and welcome to another episode of Signs of the Times with your hosts
Gigi.
and Yelson.
Yes. I feel like we haven't done this in a long time. It
Oh,
has
yeah?
only been like
It's only been like 2 weeks.
it's only been 2 weeks, but I feel like it's been so long. Typically you'd want to record back to back so you have stuff.
Mhm.
We here in the Signs household are not very good at that.
No, we just have a lot of things in our schedules. So we just try to find time to squeeze up this podcast in.
Yeah, I feel like our calendars, like our days get so busy
Mhm.
so fast.
Yeah, it does.
Like, we're in mid-March and our weekends for April already, like, we have no free weekend already for April.
I know. Yeah, I've been looking at our April calendar, and obviously it's a lot of things that we're excited about
Mm-hmm.
because it is your birthday month.
Mm-mm.
Your birthday month. We
It's my
have a lot
birthday
of
year.
yeah. We have a lot of things lined up, and we also have a lot of like busy days coming up.
Wait. So you don't want to celebrate my birthday for a whole year?
That's impossible.
Dude,
You
we
can
can
only
start
try
now.
to get a month. You can get a month.
Whatever.
You even tried.
Ladies, talk to your man before you marry him.
Hey. You even like dreaded trying to have my birthday month.
Not true.
Yes, you
I
always made
just do
fun of
it
me for that.
because
I like having a birthday month.
as soon as December comes, Yelson's already talking about his birthday month.
Oh yeah.
So because he's already talking
Because
about
I need
it,
to prepare her.
I'm already like,
Yeah.
whatever. But then when January does come, I don't dread it. And you know that I'm like, let's do this for your birthday. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's do this.
I know.
But it's just the fact that because he gets too excited, I'm like, let's bring it down a notch because you may be getting excited for no reason.
I know. So I used to not get excited about my birthday month. Actually, I didn't even do birthday months. I just waited until the day of my birthday, which is like normal.
Right.
But somewhere out there, I heard of a birthday month.
Right.
And I was like, I kind of want to do one of those.
Course.
And that was like 2 years ago or something. And
The
so,
first
yeah.
child.
Yeah, pretty much. When she says first child, she's talking about how I was the first child born
Yes,
in my
he's
family.
the first baby in his entire family. So I think you were just not raised. You were just built to want a birthday month.
Yeah.
I
thought it was a cool idea, though.
It
you get
is.
to nonstop do like a lot of things.
It's a cool idea, but Yelson came up with, found this idea like in his 20s.
Yeah. Just trying to have fun.
And it's not
Just
like
still
a kid that
like,
wants a $20 toy or like, you know, you can like get a kid excited like, oh yeah, I'll get you that new coloring book.
Yeah.
No, not when you're 20.
Nope.
Yeah. So birthday month, and I guess mine's coming up.
So one of the things we actually have lined up for her birthday month is going to
What is it called?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to go to the Sight and Sound Theater to watch. Oh my goodness, Daniel! Yes, Daniel. We're gonna watch Daniel. If you don't know what Sight and Sound is, it is a play where they.
Well, it's a theater.
Yeah, it's a theater. They have a lot of Bible stories that they make into a play. And it's amazing. It's mind-blowing. It's very the detail to the plays are like
And I've never
crazy.
been.
Yeah, you've never been, so
Nelson just keeps talking about this place.
Yeah, because last year, I believe it was last year. No, probably 2 years ago, I went. No, it was last year. Oh my goodness, 2 years ago.
We're in 2024 now.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I went there to watch King David, and that was amazing. That was amazing. Like,
You
to this
honestly
day, I
wouldn't
still
stop
like,
talking
yeah,
about
no,
it.
even today, like, till this day, I'll still bring it up because of just how cool it was.
It's funny though,
And
because you would always bring it up, and I'm like I understand, like, it's amazing, but the way you talked about it, I'm like, he's really still talking about this. Like, it
yeah, it was
had to
that
be
good.
crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like it,
So we're
and
gonna go see Daniel.
we're gonna go see Daniel this year, and it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah. And forgot to mention, for those watching on YouTube, this obviously isn't our regular setup, but
Oh yeah, this is not
you
our
want to know
setup.
something?
Yes, tell us.
Today is Thursday, March 14th.
Oh, so the episode's supposed
We're
to drop tomorrow.
recording.
Yeah,
We're recording.
it's 11 p.m.
11.
I'm about to be midnight, and
We're just recording this.
yeah,
We
we're
just wanna
just
have a
recording.
chat.
Yeah, we're just chatting. I definitely recommend chatting at 11 p.m.
Yeah. So this isn't our regular setup, but it's late, and we just want to talk
and be comfy.
This couch, this was given to us, and this couch is so comfortable.
It is. I could stay here all night.
I've slept on this couch before.
I've slept. Oh, I slept on this couch a lot before.
Why was he sleeping on the couch? I'm just kidding, guys. We've all slept on this couch. We like napping on this couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. You know what?
Yeah.
This is completely random, and we might just start talking about this. I don't know. I've heard this. There's something I heard. And I heard it from someone, and if this person's listening, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. But it's not about you.
Let's get that straight.
It's not about you, okay? I heard it from this person, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then I was online, and I saw the exact same question.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't really a question. It was more of a concern.
Yeah, what was it?
So, there are people that are nervous about going to heaven because they're scared it's going to be boring.
Whoa, are you serious?
Yes.
I've never heard of a question like that before.
Well, it wasn't a question. Or just
a statement.
They're just scared that heaven's going to be boring. They're like,
what?
And this is not, I'm not taking this from the person I heard it from. This is from where I read it. This person they said they're anxious or scared that heaven is going to be boring, because when you go to heaven, you're just going to be worshiping God. And is that all you're going to do? Like, is that all we're going to do in heaven? And like the Bible like describes heaven in like, a awesome way. And I mean like awesome, like that's awesome, but like awesome way.
It's something that we just can't comprehend right now. So
but they're nervous that it's going to be boring.
But the fact that it's leading them to be nervous though, like,
but you know what? I was thinking about this. And
nervous?
When
are they holding on to too much in this earth?
They're just scared it's going to be boring, because are we just going to be worshiping God all the time? Like, okay, are we going to get... Yeah. Like, that's what they were saying in the post. That's what they were saying. Like,
they have to be
like, is that all we're going to be doing? Like,
what were you saying?
It seems like that's going to be boring. So I was thinking about it. And, like when our grandparents were kids.
Yeah.
And because the rapture, it's always been talked about. And people would think about it and be like, well, I can't wait to go to heaven. And then our parents' generation, similar situation. They're like, well, Jesus is going to come back one day, and, we're going to go to heaven. And then our generation's like, yeah, Jesus is going to come back. But are we going to be bored? It's all these iPad kids. It is. I feel like people are so desensitized now. And like, even these new babies, like you can't just give them a page and a crayon. Like they want a screen.
Yeah. Talk about that. That's crazy.
I feel like the way that even us, like we weren't iPad. This is the bad thing about our generation. We weren't iPad kids. We're iPad adults.
No, we weren't. I just remember playing a lot of video games.
Exactly. And then we turned like 15 and like the iPod came out and all these things. And then we got like addicted to this screen time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily addicted, but
Some
you know what
people,
I mean?
Yeah.
But then like, because like we're still developing, like it became part of our way of life. And I think people are just like, man, I can watch 3 things at once, but when I go to heaven, we're gonna be doing one thing.
But the thing is, like, for people that say that, it already tells me where you are in your walk with the Lord.
I think
that's just my honest opinion, because I don't think that should be a thought in your mind. Because if you were to think like, oh, is that heaven sounds boring, then I can just imagine how many things that how many things that you've been consumed by here on earth that you claim it's like your most prized possessions.
So where we live close to an airport.
Yeah.
An airport. And the planes go by here
a lot,
very
above
frequently,
us.
like above our building.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that maybe 5 years ago, the thought of going to heaven, I was like, man, I mean, that's good. But my life here, I don't know, like, it's kind of great. And if I could stay here longer, you know, that'd be nice. So I think part of it too is having exposure just in the real life.
Sure.
Like in the real world. I can remember a couple of weeks back, and I know I don't know if you remember, I told you. It was a weekend, and a plane went over our building like at 8 a.m. And I'm like half asleep. And all I could hear was a very loud sound. And I couldn't really figure out. Yeah, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And it was probably like one of the times that I can tell you that I heard the sound and I was just like, I pray that's Jesus coming back right now. Like, I just want to go to heaven
and that's
right
how the cloud
now.
sounds like.
Yeah. I was like, I just want to go to heaven. Like, I'm so tired of being
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love my life. I love my family. But it's like, you get to a point when you're an adult and you're like, man, Jesus, you can come back now. Like, so it's not just like spiritual, but it's also just like on earth where you're just like, you see so much stuff and the, you know, stressors of life and just all these things. And you're like, okay, I feel like I've seen enough. Yeah. And if I go to heaven right now, I wouldn't be one bit upset.
Yeah.
You know? So I think there's a lot that goes into it when someone has a thought like that. And again, it's just, you know, that they just don't.
Lack of understanding.
They just don't know.
Or they don't know.
Or maybe they're like still in school, you know, they haven't gotten married.
That's true.
Like experienced like
life,
being on their own.
Yeah.
And like I can understand that where it's like, man, what am I gonna do there? Like you haven't even experienced life yet. Or like, you know how people joke and they're like, watch Jesus come back. Like I used to tell Yeltsin this. I like, with my luck, Jesus would come back as soon as they say like, you may kiss the bride.
Oh yeah. Oh,
It's so funny. But it's all these things. You just don't know when Jesus is coming back.
Mm-mm.
But for people that have that thought, I would just say read your Bible.
Yeah.
Talk to someone. And
You'll find peace.
And you'll see. And, you'll see, like, how, because the Bible does talk about heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see how great it's described.
Yeah.
I mean, it says streets of gold.
Mansions. You'll have your own mansions that he has made for you. Prepared for you.
And it's not like, oh yeah, when we get up there, Jesus is going to give me keys to my new house. That's just, I believe that's just the norm. Mm-hmm. It's not like a mansion isn't a mansion if everyone has a mansion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like, oh,
yeah.
E Street is gold and F Street isn't. So
it just,
we could just talk about it.
Right. And the fact, like, someone like that feels anxious, then your affections are somewhere else. I do think your affections are somewhere else. And I would really take the time to read the Word of God and find it out for yourself. Mm-hmm. Find it out for yourself.
Pray about it.
And pray about it. And even just do a self-reflection. Mm-hmm. Look back at your life, where you are right now, and what things you have placed on the pedestal. Mm-hmm. What things that took the throne of God. And rethink a few things. Yeah. And, if you recognize those things, and maybe sometimes, like, we are too stubborn, we're too hard-headed, just pray, like, Lord, point the spotlight to it.
Yeah.
What is it, Mm-hmm. If I really don't want to admit it, put it in front of my face.
Yeah.
And there you go. Like, I feel like the Lord could reveal that to you.
And if not that, God, show me how. I think that some Christians, they know that God is great because it's spoken about.
Yeah.
But you really don't know until you find out for yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
And I can say people like us that we've experienced that, there's no doubt in our mind that heaven's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because if we get this on earth, what else, how much greater could heaven be?
Right.
And that is like, we aren't of this world. Our, heaven is our home. So it's like, if we get these blessings outside, how much better would it be when we're in heaven?
Exactly.
So
those are really good things to even think about.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And you shouldn't be worried. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about that. I
don't know who we're talking to, but if you're listening to it and you had that same question, here you go.
And if you think we're talking to you, we're not. I saw this online and I just remember, I was like, wait, I've heard this before.
I never heard this before.
I've heard this.
Like, I'd have thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, but I won't be doing this anymore. But hey, like, this is far greater.
Like, oh well.
I can, as much as I can say this, like, it'll be far greater. But I will genuinely say that when I experience it, because we can't grasp it or comprehend it now. But when it's there, I'm sure that it's gonna be something just so different.
I'm like, man, I can't do a kickflip in heaven.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
That's interesting. I never seen that.
I saw it online and I was like, what? I've heard this.
I feel like Generation Z has a lot of questions.
Did you just say Generation Z?
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
What?
Gen Z.
Same thing.
I guess it is.
Gen Z. I guess I'll say Gen Z. I feel like they have a lot of doubtful questions. Like they question things.
Yeah.
And that's why they can't be like...
Because there's so much available to our generation.
Right.
There's so much out there, and it's like, man,
and the fact that there's so much out there, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like there's so much knowledge out there. There's so much like answer out there.
But there's too many.
So it's like...
There's too many answers. Yeah. Too much knowledge. Remember?
Right.
So every time Yeltsin tells me, if you know this, why do you worry about this stuff? Mm-hmm. Not about this specifically, but it's like... And I always tell you, what's the verse?
One in Ecclesiastes?
I think the one that you were like...
Ecclesiastes 1:18.
So it is Ecclesiastes, my bad.
Come on, girl.
Whatever.
Let's do KJV, because we're so cool.
Oh, but I'm not going to understand it.
You will.
English is my second language. Just kidding. Not kidding. I will understand it, though.
Okay.
Come on, brother.
So this is what King Solomon said in Ecclesiastes. He said, For in much wisdom is much grief.
Yes.
And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
Yes, that's why I want to go to heaven. That is such
a wise thing to say, but such a...
It's just true.
It's so, like, when I first saw that... No, what's wild was... I saw this verse years ago. Mm-hmm. When I started coming to church and reading my Bible. I read this verse and I was like, oh, okay.
Cool.
And then years down the road, I pick up Ecclesiastes again and I read this verse. Mm-hmm. Completely mind blown. It's funny because, like, you could read verses again and again and again, mm-hmm. and it's just going to be different every time. One day
it's going to click.
Yeah.
There's another thing. If it doesn't make sense, it's going to make sense one day.
Yeah.
Just pray about it.
Right. And I understand this. You know, as the more I've been walking with God, the more I've been experiencing, the more I've been exposed to, and just the more knowledge that I have been receiving.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as means, like, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, right. I am now realizing this. Let's read it in a different version.
Okay.
What are you feeling?
Spanish.
Spanish?
Good, read it.
Where is it? What is it called?
Reina Valera. RVR. I think that's what they... Let me see.
Oh, there's like so many of them.
Yeah, it's one of these. It's 1960.
Read it.
No, you're reading it.
Oh, okay.
But
I think she's asking me to read it because my Spanish is not all the way there. I am still
a Sabo kid.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm still trying to learn Spanish, and Gigi's really fluent at it.
You're gonna do it.
Ready? Ecclesiastes. Well, how do you say that in Spanish?
Ecclesiastes. Wait, let me double check. I've been in the American church for too long. Ecclesiastes.
I need to get up.
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes.
It's not even a word for me anymore.
You don't know it?
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes.
Sure. Watch us both be saying wrong. I can't believe people are
Hold on. 18. Hold on. I got it.
One time, Yeltsin was counting 1 through 20, and he went from 15 to 200. No, 15 to 600.
Uno, dieciocho. Ecclesiastes 1:18. 18.
Oh my God.
Says, porque en la mucha sabiduría hay mucho molestia. What? Molestia?
Porque en la mucha sabiduría hay mucha molestia.
Hay mucha molestia. Y quien... What? Añade.
I'll read it.
¿Añade?
Porque en la mucha sabiduría hay mucha molestia, y quien añade ciencia añade dolor.
Hey, yo, this is... That was a little hard to read. This was a little hard to read. Is there
It
like...
is a little hard to read.
Okay, let me go back to English. And let's do...
Just do NLT.
NLT. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
The greater my wisdom, the greater my grief. To increase knowledge only increases sorrow. Wow.
Because you just know too much. When you know too much,
it's good though. Like
you just can't
we're not saying it
life.
Yeah, but it's good to know.
It's
like,
good to
right
know
things.
certain things.
Yeah.
When you know too much, you're just like, you just know the truth about a lot of things, and you're like, ugh, but I know how that's made. Ugh,
but when
but
he
I
says
know how they got there.
Yeah, but the greater my wisdom. This is godly wisdom. This is godly wisdom he's talking about, and he's receiving this wisdom, and he's saying that he's getting that his grief is much greater.
But then it says to increase knowledge.
To increase knowledge
in Spanish,
only increases sorrow.
It's science. That's what it's translated to in Spanish.
To increase knowledge only increases sorrow.
I mean, even if you have godly wisdom, it's still gonna bring grief to you because there's so much
I know. I mean, that's what
ungodly
it says.
things. Yeah. So godly wisdom is gonna bring you grief. The knowledge is still gonna bring you sorrow because when you know too much, you know too much. You don't want to know too much.
And in the NLT, we're gonna read. It says, "The greater my wisdom, the greater my grief. To increase knowledge only increases sorrow."
Amen.
Yeah.
When you know
Amen
too much,
to that.
You know too much.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to know too much.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies to things that are not of God.
Yeah, that's true.
When you know things of God, you want to know everything.
Yes.
But in that verse, King Solomon's talking about, he was the wisest man. And there's never going to be a wiser man than Solomon.
Right.
So it's like he just knew too much.
What I'm taking away from this is when you know too much, now you got more things to stress about. When you're starting to know new things and taking on new things in life, now you got new things to stress over, which I'm not saying like that's the best thing to do, but eventually, that's just, as humans, we just tend to do that type of stuff. We tend to stress over a lot of things, so that's what I took away from that.
Yeah.
And all this actually still ties into that question, about how people just
worry about
being in heaven. If you set your affections on the things above, you got nothing to worry about. Yeah. You have completely, well, oh my gosh. When you set your affections on the things above, you have nothing to worry about.
Right. And if you think about it, would you rather be on earth forever? Or would you rather be in heaven forever?
Wait, what question is?
Because they're worried about going to heaven forever.
I'd be in heaven forever.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what we're supposed
I'm saying.
To be forever.
Would you rather be on earth forever or in heaven forever?
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I'm gonna be on earth. I mean, I'm sorry. Whoa, I'm gonna be on heaven forever. I'm be on heaven forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you really, really, really think about it, I think the answer is pretty clear.
Yeah.
Well,
that was good.
Don't worry about heaven. Yep. Just worry about getting there.
Or don't even worry at all.
Well, don't worry. I mean, but worry as in like, am I living right?
Yeah, you can ask those questions. You read the Bible.
Ask a different question.
And be joyful over the fact that this destination will be the best destination ever. Right. There'll be no more sorrow, no more tears, but just pure joy.
Mm-hmm. And if you do think these kind of things, we're not trying to shame you for it.
No
or
shame.
Make you feel bad.
No judgment.
But if you do feel that way, pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to someone. Because I wouldn't want to live being like worried that I'm going to be bored in heaven. Which is a kind of crazy thought to have.
It is.
But it happens. Like I said, I used to think that too. I'm like, man, what am I going to do up there?
We're made to worship.
Yep.
We were created to worship.
Right.
So what we're about to do, we're just about to go up there and do what we know to do.
A kickflip.
Yep. We just do what we know to do. Mm-hmm. That's why you take your time to set your affections on the right things here on earth, so that when you go to heaven, when the time comes, actually, you're ready.
Yeah.
And you don't have to think about, but I'm not going to see my possessions again. I'm not going to see any of that ever again.
I don't want to see
my achievements.
I don't want to see them.
My achievements, that's all gone.
Be like, I had to spend money for all this stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, just a really, really good question. And I feel like we've just said a lot about it.
And just be encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
And we encourage you to know God, to pray about it, and talk to someone.
Yeah.
That way, when the day comes,
you're ready.
Also, when the day does come, I think you'll be wanting to go to heaven. So I don't think you'll be worried about if it's boring or not. But anyways, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay because Jesus loves you.
It's okay. Jesus loves you. Yep.
Well, thank you for listening.
Yep. Thank you for listening
to our late night talk at this point.
Yes.
On our comfy couch.
11:52. We started this at 11:11 pretty much.
Pretty much.
Wow. 11:52.
And you're probably not going to hear 40 minutes of it because it's going to be shorter.
Yeah. Well.
But Yeltsin just exposed us. So.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Well, once again, we thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you for always listening. And we'll see you in our next episode.
And happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And God bless
you.
America.
I can't believe we're going to be on YouTube looking like this.
I know.